insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvents. They are esters of fatty acid, no doubt. They include, these lipids include not only fats, cholesterol, steroids, phospholipids. So these are the components of lipids. But fats are esters of, fatty acid esters of glycerol, triglycerides, one component of lipid. Okay? Come. And these triglycerides, there is cholesterol, there is alcohol, glycerol, and there are 3 alcoholic groups. This alcoholic group forms esters with fatty acids. Now these fatty acids are of different kinds, depending on their number of carbon present in it. The chain can be chain of carbons, hydrocarbons, may be very long, short. So those who are short, fatty acids having short chain are called short chain fatty acids. Similarly, medium chain fatty acids, long chain fatty acids. Only thing, the number of carbon atom will vary. We can classify them as saturated and unsaturated. The hydrocarbons, carbon, 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 all are having C2, CH2, CH2, CH2. So, if suppose this is one carbon, this is one carbon, this is heavy hydrogen, heavy hydrogen, 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 and another bond is linked to another carbon. Another bond is linked to another carbon. And so on. So there are hydrogen atom. Now if 2 hydrogen atoms are removed, then there will be formation of creation of a double bond here. Now this fatty acid is unsaturated fatty acids. This, if any triglyceride contains large number, mostly long chain fatty acids and saturated fatty acids, they will be under this room temperature, they will be solid. But those who will be having short chain as well as saturated fatty acids, they will be liquid at room temperature. We know fat in room temperature, some fats can be solid, some fat can be liquid. The liquid fats are called oils. We know that? Okay. Now every day we take through our foods lipids, fats and oils. And these are, some of these fats and oils, lipids, they are visible in our food. Can you see the fat in egg? You can't see. Can you see the fat in milk? So these are not visible fat. These are non-visible fat. And there are some visible fat also. Example, the oil we cook, the ghee we take, The butter we take. These are all visible fats. Whatever. Through food, we take around 25 to 30 gram of fat daily. How much? 25 to 35 gram of fat daily. We should not take more than this. This is not recommended. Recommended by Indian Council of Medical Research as well as NIN, National Institute of Nutrition. So this is recommended. And the amount of the visible and non-visible fat in our diet should be 50-50. 50-50. 50 gram through different non-visible foods and 15 gram as visible. Do you know 1 spoon of fat, how much weight of the fat or oil will be in 1 spoon? 5 gram. Good, very good. How do you know? 5 gram. And what is the calorie value of this 5 gram of fat? Hey, not 4.3. Per gram, 9 kilocalorie. How much? How much? You will speak with you. How much? 9 kilocalorie per gram of fat. Protein gives 4 kilocalorie and carbohydrate also get 4 kilocalorie. So these are called calorie equivalent. These are called calorie equivalent, means per gram how much energy is given. Clear? So let's see how these lipids or fats are digested. First we will go through how these are digested and then how they are absorbed. So major dietary lipids are triglyceride, cholesterol, it may be in the free form or as esters. Cholesterol, here is also one alcoholic group, so it may form ester with carboxylic group of fatty acids. Should I ask what are esters? How esters are formed? Should I ask? Should I ask anyone? Yes, I will ask. Okay. Cholesterol, as I said, it is having alcoholic. All of the ester bonds are formed between alcoholic group and carboxylic group. So cholesterol plus fatty acid, it will be having, fatty acid will be having carboxylic group. That's why it is acid. So this acidic group of carboxylic group and alcoholic group of cholesterol will form an ester bond. So now this is cholesterol ester. Cholesterol is important for us. We have seen in the cell membrane, one of the constituent is cholesterol, and it provides fluidity in the cell membrane. Okay, so with this, they have got the flexibility. Okay, plus fluidity means they can move. The proteins that are incorporated within the cell membrane, the lipid layer, they can move. Protein means different receptors, different transporters, carrier proteins. Okay, so different form of proteins are there. Like in our mosaic, different colors of beads are there. Similarly, different colors means different types. Similarly, proteins, they are also performing different functions. They are also different types. So there will be cholesterol esters, and the importance I said from most of this. So it is this structural component as well as some hormones, steroid hormones are actually formed from these bile salts. they are formed from cholesterol. So they are part of, I will see how these bile salts are very important for us. So they are important. But when its content, cholesterol content in the blood is raised, then it creates problem. Creation of atherosclerosis. So when it is done, when it is the atherosclerosis is done, so lumen will be gradually, diameter of will be shortened, so there will be increase in blood pressure, gradually increase in blood pressure, and that will cause a cardiac problem, means CVD, cardiovascular disorders. Okay, so the phospholipids, we have seen phospholipids are important components of plasma membrane. So they are, so since we take flesh, so that means we are also taking phospholipids. We take fish, we take meat, so they are also having cell membrane. So we are, moreover, other components where they are having. So we are ingesting phospholipids also. So as I said, Indian diet contains 20 to 30 gram of lipids per day, and this, now let's reach digestion of lipid from where it starts. Lipid digestion, fat digestion starts from mouth, because in the mouth there is salivary juice and there is one component, that is lingual lipase. This lingual lipase can act on an acidic medium, 2.5 to 5. That means it can act even when the salivary juice together with food enters into the stomach. There also, upon entering into the stomach, there can also it can act. Okay, in the stomach we will say there is another lipase, gastric lipase. So together, these both the lipids, lingual lipase and stomach lipase, they can act on the lipids, on fats. Okay, and these lipids, these fats should be in the emulsified form. Should be emulsified. As we see this type of emulsified fat, we can see in egg, in milk, in butter. So these fats are emulsified fats. So these two enzymes, particularly the lingual lipase and gastric lipase, they act on what type of fat? Emulsified fats. Means these fats remains in suspension. They otherwise, in other form we have seen they float on the water surface. So that way, lingual lipase is important. It can convert. We'll see the lipase action of lipase. Whatever we eat, either it is pancreatic lipase or lipase from here or from the stomach, their mode of action is like this is glycerol, through ester bond, three different fatty acids formed esters. Now lipase can break this bond. Or initially, this is the third ester bond. So initially it breaks it, not this one. So what will be the product? What will be the product? This was triglycerides. Now this is separated. Now what will be the product? Diglyceride. The product will be diglyceride. Diglyceride plus fatty acid. This fatty acid will get, if this is free. Okay? This is termed as one,2 diglyceride. Means fatty acid is attached to first carbon and second carbon. Also we termed as alpha beta. Okay, so usually it is termed as 1,2 diglyceride. Next, lipase will break this bond. As a result, this will be freed. So now it is not diglyceride, now it is monoglyceride. What monoglyceride? 2 monoglyceride. One is removed. Two monoglyceride plus fatty acids. How many fatty acids we got till now? 2. And what is the product now? 2 monoglyceride. 2 monoglyceride doesn't mean 2 units of monoglyceride. Means 1 fatty acid is remaining attached as first carbon in the second carbon. Okay. Now this lipase, our lipase cannot remove this second lipase, second ester bond, cannot hydrolyze this one. So this will be the end product. End product of lipase digestion. 2 fatty acids plus 2 monoglyceride. Yes, it can remove the third fatty acids also, provided somebody help him by shifting this fatty acid from here to here. So there should be one isomerase enzyme. So they can, when this is not done in the lumen, this is done in intestinal wall cells, means enterocytes. When there will be these 2 monoglycerides will be absorbed into the enterocyte, then there only this enzyme present, isomerase is present there. So now these 2 monoglyceride will be converted into 1 monoglyceride. Now the lipase present in enterocyte, they can break this hydrolysis, this bond, and create glycerol and fatty acids. It can remove. So it is removed shifted from second position to first position. Now the lipase can act on it and can liberate the last fatty acids also. Okay, so in this way, this is the mode of action of lipase. Let's see. So after digestion in stomach, what happens? So by this, see, lingual lipase as well as by the gastric lipase, they can digest 30% of the total lipid, total fat we consume. Okay? How much? Nearly 30%. So what type of food this lingual lipase and gastric lipase can digest? Emulsified fats, particularly written in red, milk, that represent butter and ghee. Okay? That is emulsified fat. So gastric lipase, these are secreted from chief cells, peptic cells. These cells also secrete other enzymes. Pepsinogen. Stomach, the glands of the stomach, gastric gland, there are G cells, There are parietal cells or oxyntic cells. We know the function of oxyntic and parietal cells. They produce hydrochloric acid and intrinsic factor. Okay, which are responsible for vitamin B12 absorption. Okay, so now the food will enter from stomach into intestine, into duodenum. When it enters into these, it will face, in addition to intestinal juice, it will face two other juice. Can you name? Can you name? What are the two other juice? One is bile, another is pancreatic juice. So, as soon as food plus chyme enters, chyme is not solid. This is a liquefied. All the whatever solid things we ate, these are by mechanical action and by, that is peristaltic movement, and because of mixing of gastric juice, these are transformed into repeated this peristaltic movement. This sharing action will make the contents into liquid form. So now these are called chyme. So when this chyme will be entering into the duodenum, they will face to not only intestinal juice, it will also face some other juice, like, because when food enters, immediately gallbladder contracts. Gallbladder is having bile, stored bile, so it will be having bile salts. This bile is having bile salts and bicarbonate ions to neutralize the hydrochloric acid. Pancreatic juice also contain lot of bicarbonate ions. They will be helping in neutralizing the hydrochloric acid. Moreover, these are having lot of different types of enzymes. Carbohydrate splitting enzyme, protein splitting enzyme, amylolytic enzymes, means carbohydrate enzyme, and lipolytic enzymes. Okay, so now the food that entered from stomach into duodenum, so there are 70% undigested fat. So this undigested fat has to be digested. So this will be done by the pancreatic juice with the help of bile, with the help of bile salts. Okay, let's see what happens. The fat entering through the duodenum is still mostly unhydrolyzed. One significant change in the duodenum is the emulsification. As I told, the fat globule not so big as I am showing. In relation to other food globules, food particles, these fat globules are very large. And on this large surface, our lipase cannot act. Helpless. Lipase is having some catalytic sites. So this lipid molecule, they should attach with the enzymes, bind with the substrate binding sites. You know actually the enzyme structure, active sites, binding sites for substrate. I think it is already been taught. So they have this enzyme binding site, one for substrate binding, another for is having catalytic site. So this substrate is always lying close to the catalytic site. So once they bind there, then only the catalytic site can act its action on the substrate. Otherwise it cannot. Here is the substrate, here is the enzyme, there is detachment, so it cannot show its action. So it has to bind with the substrate, right, which is close to the catalytic site. So what to do? See, it is very big. The lipase says by some means you make it small droplets. So making the small droplets, fat droplets from fat globule is called emulsification. So a large globule is fragmented into small granules, small particles. These are called, this way we can break it into small flat droplets. Means when it is done, we say emulsification is done. So who actually does it? The bile salts. The bile salts, this is the fat globule. The bile salts are like this. So they will attach here and will penetrate, introduce its non-polar N into the fat globules. So number of these will do this. As a result, what will happen? This is a part of fat will be eliminated. Actually, what it will be? They will reduce the surface tension. It will reduce the surface tension. Bile salts will reduce the surface tension you use to clean your clothes. What do you use in bathroom when you will be washing your clothes? You use detergents. So there are fat in this. So detergents actually what they do? Splits and removes it. This is called detergent action. So bile salts is also having detergent function. Okay, so bile salts do two things. One is emulsification by its detergent action. Okay, another force can also participate in emulsification, that is the shearing action, peristaltic action of the wall. Okay, so by this peristaltic action and mainly by the emulsification function, surface reducing function, reduction function of bile salts actually forms. After this, when it forms these droplets, okay, fat droplets. Now, the fat is ready for digestion by the lipase. Now we know how lipase acts on fat, we have already seen. Same way, so it will produce in the intestinal mucosa or intestinal lumen, what will be formed? From each molecule, 2 fatty acids will be formed and 1 from each molecule and 2 monoglyceride will be formed. Okay, these are the products. Okay, so in the lumen, another thing will happen because pancreatic juice also contains cholesterol esterase, isn't it? One of the constituents of pancreatic juice is cholesterol esterase. So what the cholesterol esterase we are eating, now the cholesterol esterase will break this fatty acid from the cholesterol. So what we will get? Free cholesterol and fatty acid. So this is done by what? Which enzyme? Cholesterol esterase. Okay. we also eat lecithin. Okay, what will happen to it? What will happen to it? Pancreatic juice contains phosphorylase A, isn't it? So that will convert, that will hydrolyze, it will extract or hydrolyze one fatty acid molecule from it. It has two fatty acid. One will be removed by this. So as a result, lysolecithin will be there. Lyso product will be lysolecithin and fatty acids. And this will be done by another enzyme, not by the lipase. This will be done by the phospholipids. Okay. So now what are the products we are getting in the intestinal lumen? 2 monoglyceride and numbers of fatty acids. And these fatty acids are variable. Some will be short chain, some fatty acids will be medium chain, some will be long chain, some will be saturated, some will be unsaturated. Now we don't have any problem with medium chain fatty acid and short chain fatty acid. We don't have any problem because why? They can be easily absorbed. Their molecule is small, so they can be easily absorbed into the first. They have to cross the enterocyte. They have to enter into the enterocyte, and at the back of at the base, enterocyte is the base. Can you just recall the villi? Within the villi, I have shown you some vessels, blood vessels, lacteals. Okay? So ultimately, whatever has been digested into the lumen, this digested products have to enter into the either in the lacteals or in the blood vessels. I am showing you. Can you remember this? This is one of the villi. These are the brush border epithelium. Their microvilli is there. So these products has to pass this enterocyte. At the base, there are the blood vessels. These are lamina propria. Within this lamina propria, there are lacteals. These lacteals are nothing but it carries lymph. Okay? And color of the lymph is white, not red. Because there is no blood cells. Whereas we can see the blue vessel and another is red vessel. Isn't it? Blue vessel means this is a vein. From this they will be going out carrying the digested products. This will be carried to the liver first. And how the blood came? Through the red vessels. These are the arterioles made from arteries. So these are the capillaries, arterioles. So these arterioles will drain blood into the vein. So when they will be passing through these veins, the food which are smaller in size, particles which are smaller in size, for example, glucose, small chain fatty acid, medium chain fatty acid, glycerol, okay, and amino acids, and different water-soluble vitamins, minerals. So they will be absorbed into this vein and will be carried to the liver first. Liver, okay, whatever you are drawing from there, first give it to me. Then I will decide Your father brings money and give it to your mother, and mother keeps it in Almira, and the amount required for running the family, so she spends from there. So this way liver also decides from here what to be released into the blood for circulation throughout the body. It decides. And if there is any abnormal thing, so it has to be degraded. It has to be degraded. This is the liver. I will be discussing. Liver will be having a lot of functions. That's why without liver we cannot live. Without liver we cannot survive. See what happens in a cirrhotic patient. He ate, he drank so much of alcohol, or it may be from some other means. Main reason is alcohol. So these alcohol are hepatotoxic. Every time it kills, it destroys hepatocytes. So day after day, repetition of this causes necrosis of the hepatocytes. As a result, liver shrinks. Liver loses its function. It cannot produce plasma proteins. It cannot produce different proteins which are necessary. So we cannot maintain it since there is a lack of or reduced production of production of plasma proteins. So there will be reduction in osmotic pressure. So because of osmotic imbalance, there will be accumulation of ascites. There will be formation of ascites. So this is one of the important findings in cirrhotic patients. Okay. So that's why liver is very important, vital for our body. It has to be protected. We should not take any drugs regularly which are nephrotoxic, which are hepatotoxic. So we should be careful. You should be careful while prescribing a drug. We have to see what are the side effects of these drugs. So you will not be prescribing any analgesic unless it is very needed. It reduces pain. So when there is injury or something, we purchase medicines, these painkillers from the shop, and we eat frequently. So these are very nephrotoxic as well as hepatotoxic. That's why pain is good. Pain is good. Suppose your stomach is creating pain. Is it good or bad? It is giving you a sign, alarming you. So unless it is there, you won't be cautious. You will not be taking care. So whenever something wrong, so it will create pain. Sense something wrong. So this alarm you are getting. So when this will be, there will be inflammation. When there is inflammation, there will be accumulation of fluid. So accumulation of fluid will create pain. So what we do? We take pain and it will reduce the inflammation. Means the antigen-antibody reaction will be reduced. Is it good? Is it good? Otherwise, how you will fight with the organism if inflammation, antigen-antibody reaction doesn't occur? So, you have to be very judicious while using these drugs. Okay, and coming to the original discussion. So, with the help of micelles, the globules are reduced into small sizes, emulsified. So, after emulsification, the lipase could act and it will produce the lipase and it will produce fatty acid and 2 monoglycerides, and the cholesterol esterase will form, after its action will form fatty acid and free cholesterol, and lecithin, phospholipase, it will act on lecithin and will produce isolecithin. So these are the products of lipid digestion. Okay, and now what can be done? Now what can be done? Problem is, these products accepting the small chain fatty acid, glycerol and medium chain fatty acid. Others we are having problems with others. They are not water soluble. They are fat soluble. Okay. So you will think, it's easy. Because these are fat soluble and the membrane of the enterocyte also they pass fat soluble, easily water soluble substance they don't allow to pass. So it is very easy. So what is the problem? Now there is no large size. Is it broken now into small pieces? Then again it is digested. There is no question of now large size. Now what is the problem? Could you understand the problem? These are fat soluble. The product we got mainly the fat soluble, not water soluble. Our membrane, enterocyte, apical side, brush border side, these are also fat soluble. They allow this, so they can pass easily. But there is a problem. What is the problem? In between the microvilli, there are some water layer. And because of this water layer, at the surface of the microvilli of enterocyte, they cannot come in contact with the membrane of the enterocyte. Enterocyte, microvilli, this is the lumen. So here we got monoglyceride, we got cholesterol, we got large chain fatty acid. Okay, so these are the products. Lysolecithin. All these are fat soluble. This membrane allows fat soluble substances. So where is the problem? Come, enter within the enterocyte. Your concentration is higher here the concentration is low. So you can easily diffuse. It will permit. The problem is, there is a aqueous layer, water layer here. So because of this, these are water insoluble. So because of this, it cannot come, these molecules cannot come in contact with the membrane of the enterocyte. Now what will happen? See what is happening. Again, bile salts coming into action. Bile salts will encircle these molecules. Now what will be there inside this? Now this is called, when these are encircled, this is called micelle. Now micelle is formed. And bile salts, as I said earlier, these are the hydrophilic part, these are hydrophobic part. So hydrophobic part is here within this, and these are the hydrophilic part. So with this hydrophilic part, surrounding is hydrophilic, means it has become now water soluble. So now this micelle will move to this, and easily can adhere into the wall membrane. Into the wall membrane. So what will happen then? When it is adhered here, then these are coming in direct contact with this. So now cholesterol will be entering here, Mg will be entering here, fatty acid will be entering here, leaving the bile salts here. Leaving the bile salts here. So now see how bile salts are very important in fat digestion and absorption. That's why when there is any liver disease, we cannot digest, absorb fat. There will be steatorrhea. There will be steatorrhea. There will be lot of fat. If you take fat, there will be lot of fat in stool, in fecal matter. Because there is no shortage or no bile salts. In hepatitis, we advise not to take any fatty food. These are the reasons. Liver is not performing its adequate function, cannot produce bile, sufficient bile salts. Now, we could see the importance of bile salts. They are needed for emulsification. They are needed for movement of the, also I didn't say, but action, enzyme action. Some enzymes are activated by this bile salts. And it also creates peristaltic movement. It stimulates peristaltic movement. So these are, at the same time, it helps in emulsification or in formation of micelle. Isn't it? So now you could learn the importance of bile salts. So what are these bile salts? Who are they? They are sodium glycocolate, sodium taurocolates. Okay, so we have to remember them. As I said already discussed, intercolate means the globules, they in penetrating their other ends, non-polar ends into this, thereby it is splitting some part of fat droplets. Is a fat globule, and this is the bile salts. Now these is a polar end, non-polar end, hydrophilic, hydrophobic end. So these black dots are hydrophilic and hydrophobic fats are inside. Okay, so now they became water soluble. First they will be made droplets, emulsified, and now they became water soluble. Now lipase can act on it and the product will be. And finally, see how this micelle formation. This is actually the micelle formation. One thing I may ask you, that is, there are some fat soluble vitamins. What are these? Oh my God. A, D, E, K. Now how they will be absorbed? For their absorption, fat is required. These water soluble vitamins will also enter within the micelle. I didn't mention. They have to be absorbed, no? So within the micelle, all are fat soluble digested products. So they will also be incorporated here. Now along with the micelle, they will be entering into the enterocyte. And from there, within the enterocyte, after entering the enterocyte, what will happen? Now think that. Because this is absorbed, bile salt is released. Now this bile salt, it is happening in jejunum, in duodenum. Where? All these things happening where? At the at the second part of duodenum and in the jejunum, and to some extent the first part of the ileum. The bile salts that released here, its action is over by now. Everything is absorbed into the hepatocyte. So what to do? But these are essential. Otherwise, since they may pass through the stool, I cannot collect the bile salts from the stool again re-inject. So what to do? The ileum will absorb this bile salt, and through portal system it will send it to the bile, to the liver. So again this liver, while producing bile, it will add this bile salt. This is called hepatoportal circulation of bile salts. After they are released through bile ducts into the duodenum, now it is doing, after doing its action, it is again absorbed into the ileum. Through ileum, through hepatoportal system, it is coming into the liver. So it is produced in liver, again coming back to the liver. This is called hepatoportal circulation. Okay? Question comes. Particularly this, what do you mean by hepatoportal circulation of bile salts? Okay, now they have entered, bile salts reabsorbed. Now what will happen into the enterocyte? Now the enterocyte, it can do two things. It wants, what to do with these lipid insoluble substances, lipid soluble substances, water insoluble substances. I cannot pass them into the blood vessel. What to do with them? What to do with the cholesterol? What to do with the cholesterol? What to do with the long chain fatty acid? What to do with the 2 monoglycerides? So, again, whatever has been done in the lumen, the reverse thing will be happening into the hepatocyte. Means again there will be formation of triglyceride. Now this triglyceride, again there will be cholesterol ester was formed, broken, cholesterol freed, fatty acid freed. Now again they will be formed cholesterol ester. So now this cholesterol ester, fatty acid, lipoproteins, something they will be added together. They will form a complex thing that is called chylomicron. What is this? Chylomicron. So this chylomicron containing all fat soluble things, including the vitamins, fat soluble vitamins, everything will be shifted to the lacteals. These chylomicrons, these are the chylomicrons. Now these are exocytosed into the lacteals. Now these lacteals will drain its content into subclavian vein. There is a route through thoracic duct, ultimately subclavian veins, and from subclavian vein, again it has entered into the chylomicrons and now in the blood. Okay, now these chylomicrons, what will happen? This will enter into the liver will degrade it, broke it and take out all these things. Even the muscle cells, hepatocytes, the adipocytes, their cell, they also contain some lipase enzyme. They will broke the lipid triglyceride present in the chylomicrons. They will break it and hydrolyze the triglyceride into fatty acid and will take up by them for their energy production. So as a result, what will be the remnant of chylomicrons will be left over. So this remnant will be again engulfed by, or it will be taken up by the liver and will process it. So this way, lipid is digested and absorbed. Is that clear to you now? Any question?